Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ike Sky, and this is the Apex Online Racing FIA GT Championship. Round 2 from Hockenheim Classic. The engines are firing up already, and this is going to be an absolutely incredible race. 90 minutes is what we're looking forward to around this absolutely iconic circuit. So first we're going to have the Group A's coming out to do their qualifying sessions. Smolder getting right on it, as well as the Audi in front of Andrex, not Boris. Oh, it would be Trip right at the top. Absolutely wasting no time at all. These cars only have 10 minutes to get their lap times in, and with Hockenheim being the behemoth that it is, those 10 minutes are going to disappear really very quickly. While the drivers are getting their tyres to temperature and their brakes as well, you saw Trip just tapping the brakes. You'll probably see it again. Oh no, he must be able to temperature now. Just tapping his brakes, trying to get some heat into them but not glaze them over, because that would be absolutely catastrophic for his chances. Let's just have a look at the calendar, a nice shiny new graphic that we've got for you. This is round 2 of 8, coming through the forests of Hockenheim. So the Silverstone Grand Prix threw up a lot of surprises, some fantastic form, and very close racing from start to finish, which we are absolutely in love with. That noise that you heard in the background was Trip chunking it down the gearbox, trying to get through the third chicane. Round 2 now is Hockenheim Classic. 90 minutes again, and accelerated pace of day, so we should possibly be going into the early evening, possibly even night, with our race today. So, coming through the stadium section is Trip, first of our drivers out on the track. Lambo is getting grid place penalties all over the place for coming out of the pits in an incorrect fashion, I would suggest. And across the line we go with Trip. Then Smolder behind. Oh. And Andrex and Myborn following behind them. Let's jump on with the Group A of Trip for a second. Absolutely fantastic shot there. Nice aerial. Wow, these chicanes have always been an absolute beast to master, and to think they used to run Formula 1 cars around here. And that's the view that Trip has. And third, just touch the curbs on the apex of that chicane and get the power down as quick as you can. This is going to be an absolutely pivotal passing place, especially for the GT1s, because there is only one line through there, as you saw with Trip. If you try and get offline, if you try and get greedy with those Group A's, those barriers are very close, and they will find your car. Just on the edge of adhesion coming down into that third chicane. Absolutely incredible. And down into the stadium section, the Quattro of the Audi Quattro working absolutely perfectly. four-wheel, little push of understeer there. He could probably do to stiffen up that front suspension and maybe quicken up his... Cured it under the brakes with oversteer though. This is going to be a rather brilliant time from Tripp to start proceedings off. And he comes across the line, 219.9. And off for another one he goes. Andrex UK has gone faster again in an Audi Quattro. The Mercedes of Smolder screaming through the forests. Looks to have a slight disadvantage down the straights, but that might just be where Andrex has got the slipstream. But that Mercedes has an absolutely gorgeous engine in. Very free revving, and very happy to go sideways at any given point in time. As they run through the second chicane, who else have we got? Boris in the BMW getting very sideways again. You're not supposed to do that there. It's gentle enough that it's not that bad. Now down into Ostkurve, as the name goes. Barely touching the brakes, and an armful of oversteer. Will he get it back? Yes. Not the quickest way, but absolutely the most flamboyant. And let's face it, we're all a little bit of a sucker for a bit of flamboyance every now and then. Hockenheim ring, known for being an absolute car breaker. I don't think we're going to have too many of those issues this time out. These cars are all high enough and sturdy enough to withstand the bumps. If we were running a Formula Series, that might be a slightly different case. Sideways before he's even entered the car. I tell you what, let's ransack, let's jump on board. Just see how very sideways Boris gets it going through there. I'm not sure if he's meaning to do that, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Beautiful high angle as well from our cameraman. Desperately trying to keep those rear tyres under him, but it's not happening. It really isn't. Ah, well. We're almost... I'm just going to keep watching Boris. This is great. Boris, keep doing what you're doing. It may not be quick, but I don't care. It's great. Push that button again. Oh, over the curb. It's an absolute shame that we're subject to network latency. Otherwise, that would have looked beautiful from a local standpoint. Either that or scary. I wouldn't have liked to have been Boris in that situation. Absolutely brilliant driving from him. Jump on with a third place driver at the moment, Smolder. Now, we're approaching the 10-minute mark, so these drivers will probably have a lap left. And at 10 minutes, we're going to see the GT1's Mercedes going absolutely sideways as well, coming down into the grandstand section. Smolder only just keeping it under control. Hopefully we get that wide angle again. Absolute madness. Fantastic control by all of these drivers here. immense bravery as well. So Smolder is going to get one more lap. Myborn is not, I don't think. No, he is dropping into the pits. That's absolutely fine. Ticklish Picklewickle. You, sir, you're a new name. That is the end of his lap. And now the GT1s burst onto the circuit. I'm just going to... Is it me, or have they gotten louder? So, while the GT1s are getting their tyres and brakes nice and warmed, and the turbos as well, of course, let's have a very quick look at the timings. So, in first place in Group A will be Andrex UK, second place will be Trip, in third place will be Neela, in fourth will be Ticklish Picklewickle. I think they've renamed themselves on purpose, I'm not going to lie. In fifth will be Smolder, Apex Myborn in sixth, Boris in seventh, Manbo in eighth. And that is your Group A. And now... this absolute mess. Right, who's at the head of this field? Who made the jump first? Howie is has not done a lap. That's only part around the circuit. I don't think. Has anyone started their lap yet? Oh, here we go. Alpha Nick, it seems. Oh, get that quarter out of the way. Oh, just slightly balked, but I think they're going to get away with that. As was on the warm-up lap, and Alpha Nick starts his first lap. Down into Nord Curve, getting on the throttle as soon as he dares, and this absolute haul, this veritable marathon sprint, those two words go together, into the forest. The noise of that Mercedes rattling off the trees. And then haul out the anchors again. He's braked way too late and just thrown it away into the barriers. Gotta find someone else now. Damn it. Button check. Here we go. Jump on board with the absolutely gorgeous panels. Just cutting the track slightly, and that never pays off because now you've got dirt on your tyres and you're going to have to drift out of the chicane to get out of it. To get the grass off the tyres. Oh, they've definitely gotten louder this week. Last of the chicanes. Nice and controlled. Picture perfect. That's how you do it, Marauder. I feel rude. I feel rude interrupting the panels. Oh. Even on Overrun, it's just fantastic. Just the track was made for these cars. Little bit of a lock-up under braking there. Marauder obviously not running ABS. I don't think the panels had it, to be fair. And now we should start to see times start to rattle through. And Marauder goes top with a 1:58. We're under the 2-minute mark. That's fantastic. RSE Chloe in the Porsche. Yep. Goes faster still. It's weird, the Porsche is actually down on power compared to some of the Mercedes and that sort of thing. 1Co appears to have a penalty. 2 grid places, that's going to be because of pit lane, yes. Violations. So that's a shame. Chloe's jumped into the pits. 1Co is currently net 4th at the moment. Then Marauder looks like he's going for a second run. If I talk fast enough, I can avoid it coming past the cameras. Inky Chris in a much more anemic sounding Porsche. In 4th, Gio running round in another Porsche, yes? Or CLK? Nah, CLK. Beautiful. Brezenchik looks like he's got a penalty of some description as well. No. Maybe his time's just been invalidated. Then Chuck Scone, currently circulating in 7th. 2 CLK is running line astern. Very nicely done there, actually. Great bit of avoidance. There's a lot of latecomers to this little party. I wasn't expecting everyone to take so long. RSC Chloe is obviously not happy with her current starting position. Andrex has put in the YouTube chat, I've built an Audi rally car. I'm not going to lie, mate. I have been, I was watching. You have. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so what have we got? What have we got? M-Power has gone atop of the timesheets with a frankly incredible 155.38. That Porsche is starting to look a little bit untouchable, which we don't like to see. We'll just find Scone. Alpha Nick is coming out for one last gasp. This is gonna be cutting it tight. Good grief, they're good noises. Oh, was that okay? I think Nick just got away with that. Oh, that was... there's Alpha's gun. So who hasn't set a time yet? Mad Dog hasn't set a time yet, and Howie hasn't set a time, but I believe he was late. Mad Dog, you have 2 minutes to get around the lap. Otherwise, you're going to have to start at the back of the GT1 field. Brezenchik is not under penalty. I thought you went red for a minute there. That was weird. But it looks like he does have some traffic to deal with in the form of that Porsche that's... Oh no, he's the Porsche. Cool. Who's he holding up then? Aaron, all out on his own, and set top 6th at the moment. How do we think... Whoa, Chloe. I've got the commentator's curse down, absolutely. I cut to her and she's losing it off the final corner. It seems as though she's set the car up to be a little bit too oversteery. I wonder if that's because she was getting a lot of push coming through the final sector. I mean, it should be okay. You should be able to deal with it, because this is most of the lap, just wide open throttle. She is absolutely on the limit. She wants that first place. Meanwhile, mPower still circulating. A massive kick of oversteer. I really hope the Porsches don't have this set up for the race, because that is not going to look after the tyres properly. mPower currently on a 155.3, 4 if you round it up. Survey says no improvement. That's absolutely fine. 1Co with a 2-place grid penalty coming down into the final sector, and has looped it round. Chloe is on that section that we were just watching. 1Co. Is she going to improve? She is half a second up on her previous time. That is almost enough to get her the first row of the grid, which would mean a Porsche lockout. But this is the section where it looked as though she was having issues. She must have been having issues before. Really ginger on the throttle there. Pushed it out wide. Rides the rumble strip, and second place. Excellent. So, your final standings, without the grid penalties obviously, is mPower, RSC Chloe, then Marauder, Inky Chris, it'll then be 1Co, Gio, Aaron, Brezenchik, Atlas Guerin, Mad Dog, Alpha Nick, Phantom Hamster, Kleinstein, Chuck Scone. Then in Group A, Andrex UK, Trip, Neela, Ticklish, Picklewickle, Smolder, Apex Mayborn, Boris, Lambo, and S4 Howie, not setting a time in the Mercedes. But we'll start in front of Lambo because of his grid penalties. Excellent. Well, if I remember correctly, Howie was having problems. I think it was Howie having problems with his steering wheel. So, to not start at the back of the grid is nice. Those Porsches at the front really do seem to be a tiny bit untouchable. Whether it's through setup or through good tactics, they are definitely the ones to be worried about. And then we're going to have a Panos on third again. Very nicely up the field there. So, just to... we won't do that yet. They've got a warm-up lap to do yet. Everyone's just getting their setups just right. You really don't want to have understeer going around this corner, coming around Hockenheim, because if you do, you're going to be scuppered through the only parts of the track that you can really get overtaken on. Hopefully we're going to be seeing the Panos and the Mercs come up the ranks with the traffic and the drafting that's going to be coming round through the forest. I'm hoping we're going to have a nice close race. The Porsches, as I say, should, if I remember correctly, they are down slightly on power, which is going to give them an absolutely torrid time coming through the forest. But with the setups that mPower and Chloe definitely are running, they are probably making up for it a lot in that final sector and through the chicanes. And we go. Headlights being cranked already. And here we go. mPower burning up the top of those rear tyres. Headlights on for all the GT1 cars already. I see how much warming up of the tyres they're doing. mPower's getting straight on it, weaving backwards and forwards. That could be warming himself up as much as it is warming the tyres up. Because a large part of the strain, especially with this sim racing, is going from doing your everyday normal activities to suddenly needing to have the wits and the strength of a race car driver. That turbo overrun is just poetic, isn't it? And then you just come slightly further back and you hear the roar of all of the displacement. Absolutely gorgeous. Not to ignore the Group A's. And Andrex just to show off to us. Nice pop of on the overrun. Tripp is sticking quite close to him though. I'm surprised that he is running so close. Mind you, those top 4 Audis, you know where they're making their time as well. That's in the last sector. These 4 Audis are going to have to be very, very, very careful coming through the forest because they are not going to have the advantage. Watch me eat my words. It's just not the same anymore, is it? They just don't make as much noise. Gorgeous. Right. This is the start of the race. They're just doing their warm-up laps now. The GT1 cars are coming into the final sector, the stadium section. Now what we should see very soon is them line up 2 by 2. mPower is slowing right down. We should see RSE Chloe pull up alongside him. And here we go. Absolutely flawless formation from the first few rows. Absolutely gorgeous. We just want mPower to have a nice, consistent speed so that the rest of the cars can get into position. I wish we had a better view. And we are green across the line. mPower making a fantastic start. RSE Chloe as well. Line the stern. The panels in 3rd place. Look to get a little bit of understeer actually. Understeers off the track unfortunately and drops behind the 3rd of the Porsches. And now back to the Group A's who are just starting. Fantastic timing there, really. That's a very slow start from Andrex. But will it pay dividends with the 4-wheel drive? The Quattros, the first 4 cars stream away. The Mercedes and the BMWs giving chase. The Mercedes Smolder, sorry. Just taking up his line on the track, and here we see perhaps slightly smaller fields, but this is just going to make every place even more important as Tickle watches a battle for second between Tripp and Neela. This camera is absolutely awful. Neela is up into second, under braking for the first of the chicanes. And that has just given Andrex a 1/3 of a second break. It just means he can look after his braking point a little bit more. Inky Chris has got all the way up into second. Where has Chloe gone? Chloe has dropped down the field. The oversteer and the pointiness proving too much for her, and oh, that was just some network lag. It's okay, it's fine. I really hope this isn't going to be a recurring thing. It looks like Chloe is having some network issues. That would explain why she's dropped back. But we look further up the grid now. Marauder in the first of the panels is in third. Behind the two Porsches, he's hunting down Inky Chris, only a second behind. Looking to use every square millimetre of that displacement on the panel's motor. And trying to keep it in a straight line. Meanwhile, Empower has walked away in front, untroubled by the drama that's going on behind him. He's ran that start absolutely perfectly and has just been hitting his marks. He's running down the centre of the track, for goodness sake. Absolutely brilliant start. And really keeping that Porsche in check as well. Unfortunately, with his GT1 cars, they were designed very much to go very quickly in a straight line and kind of forget about it during the corners. Empire is just... I hold my breath every time they go around a corner because they were so twitchy in qualifying. I'm just expecting them to just spontaneously spin off the track. Yeah, Chloe is definitely having issues. Aaron, meanwhile, Mercedes bred in a really weird sandwich there. Holding up what looks to be two Mercedes and RSE Chloe behind him. Meanwhile, Marauder still hunting, still trying. And it looks like Alice Guerin is really trying to jump onto the back of Aaron now. As I said, you're not going to get... Oh, RSE Chloe go around the outside into the chicane. I did say before, that's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen. She's going for it again. Under braking, this is where the Porsches are strongest, but you're not going to do it in the forest section. The cars are not... They're not that reactive. They have now split up into pairs of fighters. The Porsche coming up the inside, coming out of the chicane. Maybe that's all she was trying to do, was force a mistake. But turns in way too early, and that is Marauder who has gone off. Ah, heartbreak for the panels driver who was running as high as third. Third. I was right first time. And they're already lapping the back markers in Group A. Absolutely astonishing. The sheer pace of these GT1 cars. Chloe now on the back foot and not with a very well balanced car by the looks of it. Using the slipstream and still doesn't have the power to get past that Mercedes. Maybe trying to use a slightly wider line to get the overspeed on the Mercedes. I think the only time she's going to be able to have any kind of actual advantage, that's never going to happen, Chloe. Only time she's ever going to have any kind of advantage is perhaps through this section because the Porsche is so much more balanced than the Mercedes. I can't watch. But even then, it doesn't have the power. She's going to go for it. Is she going to be able to do it under braking? She was very much given that by Phantom Hamster there. But she does have the better car, just doesn't have the power. And so she sets off in pursuit of Atlas Gerin. And we will see how long it takes her to catch. Through this last sector, I expect to see her making an absolute move. Or Atlas is going to understeer off the track. Meanwhile, Aaron, formerly the Hunted, is now the Hunter. Getting close to the back of Gio, who I believe is his teammate. We give him a flash just to make sure he knows he's there. But these Group A's are going to be a thorn in the side of the GT1s all race. They really are. The two Mercedes running... Come on. No. Coming down into this second chicane. And there's nothing the GT1s can do. There's only a one-way through. And you've just got to wait. That's the second place, Inky Chris. That was Chloe. So, Aaron looking to put a tiny screw of pressure onto his teammate. Is that the 18 car in front? While they're coming through this traffic, Gio's giving them lots of space. Yeah, they look to be teammates. But at the same time, they can't hang around too much. Chloe is now past Atlas Gerin. Oh, given a... I don't know what happened there for Atlas. Maybe he just got on the marbles on the outside of Sachs. That's disappointing for the Mercedes driver. Phantom Hamster's jumping into the pits. That must be for damage. We'll try and have a word with him after the race. Meanwhile, Marauder trying to get through the Group A cars and almost taking to the grass to try and get past. Fantastic displays by everyone here, by the way. This is probably the hardest fight they're going to have all season long. The speed differentials from these, if that spots of rain. Just, that is rain starting to fall on the camera. Now these cars, I believe, are actually running treaded tyres. So they will probably last a little bit in the rain. But the absolute power of these, especially the GT1s, are going to cause issues, and that is Lambo has had a very large off by the looks of things. Square on into the wall, it looks like. That's very disappointing for him. I'm so sorry to see that, mate. You'll have to jump in and tell me if you want to talk about it. That's upsetting. Hopefully you can make it back to the pits though and not cause any problems for the other drivers. So it was all very close and very claustrophobic, and it's all just got a little bit of space between now that the rain started. It looks like, yes, Aaron is going to get past Gio. I would say that was team orders, but if it was planned, I'm surprised. That was probably Gio just being a little bit of a gentleman and giving Aaron the space. So he now becomes the filling in the Mercedes-Porsche sandwich. It's only spitting. They might be able to get away with just slicks. Those long shots, man. They make it look so heavy. The overspeed that Chloe had in that Porsche coming down into the chicane. Just going to jump on board, and she's up the inside, it looks like, and under the brakes. She only just got that stopped. The grip level is starting to fall as the rain falls with it. So that is Gio back down in 5th. Nothing to be ashamed of, being in 5th place. Hamster is trying to put the screws on Atlas Gerheim. Gerheim, come on. There's only one line through here. Hamster absolutely has the pace. It looks like Gerheim has set his car up in such a way that it's not responding really well to this. Oh, is that too much? Nope, they're fine. What's going on down in the Group A's? Smolder looks to be putting the tiniest bit of pressure on the Audi of Ticklish Picklewickle. Yeah, you got me. Okay, you got me then. But that seems to be... See, I wasn't anticipating this rain. These Audis in the lead of the race are gonna start to look really comfortable now. That Quattro drivetrain is definitely gonna play to their advantage. Oh, is that the Mercedes of Lambo in front? Yeah, and he's got repairs, it looks like. He's definitely got headlights working now, which he didn't before. The Quattro just has so much grip. Just being able to keep it down the inside to get past that Mercedes. Okay, the Lambo's probably leaving the inside free for the lapping car to get past. If I didn't know better, I'd say that this gap is planned. So, yeah, 4 seconds between Andrex and Neela, and 4 seconds between Neela and Ticklish Picklewickle. There's then got Smolder applying a little bit of pressure. GT, the panels coming up the outside. That is 2 GT1 cars fighting. Oh, come on. Mercedes, Marauder, where are they? Or is that just being lapped? Mad Dog running around in 9th. All on his own. Onco with all of his troubles that he's been having. Has done well to be going along in 8th. And somehow, most of these guys are managing to hold on to their cars. Remember, these are on dry tyres. Slicks or no, they are still dry tyres, but the rain is really starting to come down now. That front engine Panos is going to be the best one behaving as Gio gives up the fight and jumps into the pit lane. Only a third of the race gone. The longer they can make this first set of tyres last, the better they're gonna be for the end of the race, because the grooves on the wet tyres are not gonna enjoy. They're not going to enjoy having a long time running in the wet. Not with the power that these cars put down. They run up with Inky Chris. Who was that just running really very wide? Must have been Chuck's cone. Now Chloe with damage. That didn't look like that before. I think that might be a network problem again. If it's not, we'll have to ask. Bit of weaving going on from Aaron in front. We'll need to look at that, because it's not very sporting. Oh, and Aaron has thrown it right off the track. Beautiful 360 pirouette, by the way. Would have been better if he had kept on the track. We'll call that about a 7 out of 10. And Chloe, through all of the turmoil, is back up into 3rd. I don't know if this is a network problem with me or with her, but if it's her, then that's going to be a very, very scary time for the drivers around her. It looks like Lambo is taking massive avoiding action, trying to keep out the way of everybody. Inky Chris trying to scythe through and just getting absolutely balked. Coming out of that chicane. Oh, that was a big lock-up. I think it was one of the front-running... Yeah, that was Smolder by the looks of it. No, Smolder has gone past Ticklish Picklewickle. Excellent. Smolder is past 2 of the 4 Audis. It looks like Ticklish Picklewickle hasn't driven. I don't know what part of the name to call. But it looks like. Whoa! Yep. That's that network problem that we're talking about again. That's a shame. I hope he doesn't lose his place because of that. Mad Dog has thrown it on the entry to the stadium section. Meanwhile, Marauder having his issues, but now on the back of Aaron. Looking to take the fight to the front again. Aaron is covering very nicely and very fairly on the inside. Let's hope a return to the racing line and get it stopped. Scone has given up the chase and seems like as if he's going to be jumping in the pits for some wet tyres. This is just fantastic to see. There are some pretty big gaps forming, but that is just... Oh no, who's that? There's... Ah, Chloe. Entrance to the stadium section, again claiming another victim. Just... These GT1s have so much power, and with these inclement conditions, absolutely not ideal. And now the two GT1s are being held up behind a Group A Audi. That is Marauder's chance, but at the same time, there's only one line through some of these corners. Most of these corners, in fact. You really have to put your car in a dangerous position to be able to get passes done. But nothing gained, nothing lost there at the moment, thank goodness. But hopefully they'll get through here nice and tidy. Yeah, the speed differential absolutely saving them there. There's a lot of people cutting the inside of that corner, and Marauder has a massive clunk on the front right corner again of that Panos. Oh no. Oh, I don't... Who was that? Ah, was that Andrex? That was Andrex. Chloe has taken Andrex out. Again, through network lag, that's obviously no fault of her own. Absolutely nothing that could have been done there. That was just network latency. For whatever reason. Everyone is very slightly starting to lose their head now. Actually, let's jump back to Andrex and see how he's running. Is he back up to speed? Looks okay. He should be able to regain that ground. But that's such an unfortunate accident, it really was. Down towards the back of the grid now, we have the Mercedes of Howie and the BMW of Boris. Absolutely insane. We are just counting down to an hour, so that is half an hour having passed. We've got an hour left to run. About 20 minutes into this race, it has just started hammering down. The worst thing for all of these cars and drivers, except maybe the Audis, and that was Empower in the lead, just coming past some Group A cars. With a 28-second gap back to Inky Chris. It's almost as if he was coordinating the championship or something. Jumping up with Gio now. Putting heaps of pressure on Kleinstein in front. Similar machinery, so you wouldn't be expecting too much of a difference in hardware. This is entirely down to the drivers, and specifically the driver's ability to deal with this ever worsening weather. Gio playing it very, very safe there, avoiding the curbs at all costs. But is that going to screw him over in this chicane? Can he get... No, he's going to discretion the better part of Valor. If he looks after that car, it'll look after him. And in reality, in an attempt to get past that Group A car, it looks like Kleinstein has outbraked himself and caused himself more harm than anything else. Chloe is in the pits. And what's this going to be for? 4 tyres, changing for wets, a nice dollop of fuel going into the back of that Porsche. Oh, and that is Kleinstein going very wide. They're doing absolutely fantastically to be holding on to these absolute monsters in these conditions. I think that's going to be a full repair for Chloe in the pits at the moment. Lambo trying desperately. Is that Lambo? No, it's not Lambo. Who else is running in a yellow Mercedes? No, Tripp's in an Audi. Am I going mad? Oh, Smolder. Boris, meanwhile, with the leader by the looks... Oh no, it's not the leader, it must be Inky Chris. Behind. That must be an absolute mountain of pressure, knowing that you've got one of the leaders behind you. Gio and Kleinstein still attached with a very, very thin, you can just about see it, elastic piece of string. Towing each other through the Group A traffic. That rain is really, really meaning it now. How these guys are holding on to these cars, I don't know. But at the same time, that was, I'm pretty sure that was nearly getting very, very sideways coming through Sykes Curve. That looks like Wonko in the pits. Just to confirm. And they're free. GT1s can now run at their own pace. Meanwhile, Andrex, despite that spin, oh, it looks like Neela is just coming to the end of their tyres. That or the end of the grip it because of the lack of traction on the circuit. One of those two. That's Empower coming past them as well. It's going to be soon. Andrex is a very mature racer. He's not going to make any silly moves. But it must be so tempting. Looks like Neela has a permanent dust trail now. That, or they are dragging a lot of dirt back onto the track. Is this the pass made? That's a very, very immature move made by a GT1 car to get up the inside of the Group A's. That was absolutely... I will hold my tongue, but that was either a lack of traction or a lack of patience rearing its head. And now the battle can carry on. Beautiful four-wheel drift from Andrex there. Is it going to be into Sachs? He's tighter, but there is always a line for the outside. Danila there. And Neela is giving up and coming into the pits. That's enough of that, they say. Everybody's just starting to feel. It looks like it's that dirt trail is actually dirt on the track. People have been running so wide that is just how the dirt is falling. And who was that that's just come out? That was Wonko, wasn't it? Yeah. Now these are some times that we're going to have to start watching. Because before now, they weren't on the tyres for the weather. Now, Wonko is probably going to have wets all around that Mercedes. You'll be able to tell if he starts to kick up a nice stream of water. But it is also possible. Ah, here we go. There you go. Nice wet patch in the lower half of the circuit. It's just... everything's a tiny bit easier. This is a 90-minute race, absolutely. And we are approaching halfway through. Our leader is in the pits. On the start-finish straight, it doesn't look that heavy. It doesn't look that bad. Not compared to how it is in the forest. Tyres done. Just waiting on the fuel. I think Chris was much further back than the timing was going to suggest. Wow. Chris is not giving up. Not quite yet, but now we need to see how things are going to go. Empower is just leaving the pits. And he's dropped to second, but only just. Inky Chris has absolutely no margin, so now we're going to see a direct comparison between the wets and the dry tyres. But before he gets those up to temperature, we are halfway through the race. Let's have a look at the standings. Empower, having just made a pit stop, has dropped down to second behind Inky Chris. With Marauder in third, Gio in fourth. Aaron in fifth, but with a 10-second penalty. I wonder how on earth he's got that. Mad Dog in sixth, seventh is Wonko, and then Kleinstein in eighth. Gerheim in ninth, Bresenchik in 10th, Phantom Hamster 11th, and Chuck Scone 12th. In Group A, Andrex UK has reclaimed his first place after being punted off by a lagging Chloe. Neela in 2nd, Trip in 3rd, Smolder is 4th in Group A, Ticklewish Picklewickle dropping back slowly, but that's still a very respectable position in 5th. 6th is Apex Mayborn, Howie in 7th, Boris in 8th, and Kles Lambo in 9th. And in less than a lap, it does look as though Chloe has DC'd, that in those internet issues becoming a bit too much for her. Empower in one of the other Porsches, however. Is Inky Chris giving up? I think he is. That is Ape hitting Chris. Which restores Empower to the lead. But now we have a 40-second gap back to Marauder. Now, depending on how long this pit stop ends up taking for Inky Chris, I don't think he's had any issues. So it should be as simple as tyres and fuel. But you never know. The Marauder is doing his what's it called? DeLorean impression. And Inky Chris retains 2nd with a roughly 50-second gap when he came in. Don't press that button. Yes, I have seen that Panos GT4 car. It is looking mighty pretty, isn't it? Floating Audis as well. They're all cheating, that's what they're doing. Unbelievable. So unfair. You'll now see which cars have been set up for this wet weather. There was a risk of it. There was a risk of rain. So if there are any cars that have been set up for the wet, you're now going to see the times just ever so slightly start to edge downwards. Inky Chris looks like he's using slightly lower revs just to keep the rear tyres in check. Meanwhile, Marauder doesn't have a choice. So I don't think that dirty grey B, I'm pretty sure it's a V8, would do anything above 7,000 revs. Oh, not that you want it to. Good grief. Absolutely gorgeous. Gio currently circulating in 4th. I don't think I've seen him pit yet. Chuck Scone has given up on his previous set of tyres and is putting on some fresh boots. Whether they're burnt out wet tyres or... Oh, and a stall. There we go. There's a Group A of Andrex jumping in front of the GT1 in overall position. Neela in... I'm just going to check that. Yep. Neela is back ahead of Andrex UK. How that's happened, when that's happened, I don't know, but it didn't last for long. What was that? Did someone spin? Yeah, Chuck Scone spun on the way out of the pits. Poor guy. Must be having an absolute mare in that GT1. At least he's on the ground. Having a look back at the timings, Neil appears to have a penalty. Yep. And Aaron. I wonder how he's got that 10-second penalty. That must be a rather big infringement that he's committed. Yeah, Chuck Scone has not got that car set up for a wet race, unfortunately. And all of the cars now starting to spread out again in entirely different conditions. And we're seeing M-Power, his previous lap was a 2:07, and that could have been because of traffic, but it could also be an indication of the setup issues that we were talking about earlier. We have 2:03s coming from the two Mercedes in 4th and 5th. Now if they can keep that up, that was a 2:06 that time. If they can keep that kind of pace up, we could possibly be looking at a couple of position changes very, very late in the race. Marauder, on the other hand, has only got 4 seconds to Inky Chris. Now, if he can keep that Panos Esprente under him and keep it in a straight line, he's really in with a shot at a podium place here. Maybe even second. I think M-Power is definitely out of reach here. But I think that ride height is a little bit too much. There's trying to get out of the puddles, and then there's that. Actually, that's the thing to think about. With Aaron's 10-second penalty, for Mad Dog to make it up into 5th, they only need to get within 10 seconds. Yes, that's 17 seconds away. But it's doable. We still have 40 minutes remaining in this race, and the weather is only going to get worse. So if he can adapt, then there's nothing to say that they can't pull it back. Speaking of pulling it back, the number 1 of Neela is very eager to pull back that sister Audi of Andrex, specifically into 2nd place. Andrex did make a comment earlier that he's accidentally made an Audi rally car, and it looks as though the tarmac performance is not on his side, as Neela is going to nose up the inside. Andrex absolutely giving him space, because he knows that he can make the cut back and possibly make this work. Tremendous respect between these two cars. Cuts to the inside, and now you've got to pick your braking points, guys. Good luck. Oh, a little tiny bit of rubbing, perhaps. Absolutely beautiful display from both Andrex and Neela there. Beautiful close racing. I'm not going to say I really like the Esperante, but I really like the Esperante. And as we make our way into the dark and stormy night, there is but one thing left to do, and that is push. For M-Power, he can't afford to have those tyres die on him. For Inky Chris, he can't afford a single mistake. He needs to hit every single mark as if his life depended on it. Because even a half spin, a Marauder's got him. For Marauder, that second place is there. He can see the car, he can see his target acquired, and that changes something in the brain of a racing driver, it really does. When you can see the car you're chasing, your senses get heightened, you know where he's braking. All you need to do is brake a little bit later, turn in a little bit earlier, take that little bit more curb than him. And most importantly, keep the back end of the car underneath you a bit better than him. Now Marauder now has a 15-second gap back to Gio, who looks fairly comfortable in his current position. You can guarantee inside that car he is thinking about what he can get out of this race. What can he do? What can he pull? What does he need Marauder to do to make it possible for him to get on that podium? And Aaron in 5th place, fairly comfortable is the gap to Mad Dog, but again, he's got a 10-second penalty that's going to be applied at the end of the race. So he's absolutely not got. He's not got as comfortable a cushion as he thinks he has. Meanwhile, Mayborn, one of the two. Sitting around the middle of the pack in the Group A class. But Chuck Scone is not far up the road. He's not even in the same class. Scone is having an absolute nightmare. It looks as though he's got that car set up for the dry and he's just catching every ounce of water. He's getting up on the bodywork or he's aquaplaning. That flat body of the car is just getting up on the water, and when the tyres don't have contact with the ground, you're never going anywhere. Meanwhile, looking at the timings, I thought this was going to be a bit close. Andrex UK and Neela trading blows. The chasing Audi obviously having a slight advantage over the leader. With all that air being pushed out of the way for him. Andrex is being very fair, but very firm, making sure that Neela knows that he's not going to just have it handed. to him. This victory would mean a lot still. Down into center curve. And back across the track. These Group A cars not needing to use all the track on the run out of center curve, just because they're that much slower than the GT1 cars. It's more beneficial to shorten the track than it is to get that traction down, especially with the Audis being four-wheel drive. Now we're going to see again GT1 car stumbling. Oh, that was an enormous crash. Who was that? That's just that was a retirement, I think. I don't know who that was that retired. Don't have anyone in ready to interview, unfortunately. There's been a couple of people who would be nice to hear what they had to say about the session generally today. There we go. Meanwhile, Neela has just gone past Andrex. It looks as though that's happened through the north turn 1. And with the GT1 cars coming through for another lap. Got to be so careful with these conditions now. The rain's been coming down for a while, and these big long gaps where there's no cars on track are just going to make everyone's life worse. Meanwhile, Marauder has now brought it in to 1.4 seconds up to Eike Chris. He's going to start getting in that section soon, that bit of draft when you're running behind a car where it takes all of the downforce off of your nose. It's not going to be the end of the world for that nice front-heavy Panos. Still going to have some front traction, but he is going to have to be very careful about how he puts the power down in this pouring rain. As they scythe through the leading battle in Group A. Looks like the Panos is able to just keep a slightly tighter line and slightly more in control of the situation. A little bit braver on the curbs, absolutely. And got a little bit more confidence in that chassis over the Porsche of Eike Chris. Looks like a slight misstep there, trying to get an overlap on Eike Chris in front. It doesn't look like the rain is easing off at all. Oh, that's going off the track at the entrance to the grandstand section. How interesting. So Andrex and Neil are still, again, attached with a small bungee cord. If you look close enough, you can probably see it. This weather absolutely playing into the hands of the Audis with their four-wheel drive. What an absolute mess this race has been, in a good way. Still got a third of it to go. Place your bets now. What's next? Marauder looking to get that second place from Inky Chris. Lapped car just getting so far off track just to make sure they don't get in the way of that leading battle. Oh, what on earth? Who is that is having Marauder just got enough. Where is that car that has... Oh, that's Gerhan. That looks like front right? Oh, that's a missing wheel. That must have been a massive impact into the wall. Looks like the weather's got the better of him. Ah, that's really disappointing to see. And now they all start to come back together. Son and Brezenchik. In fact, I think they've swapped. Neil and Andrex still fighting. Soon, yes. Currently the gap is 1.2 seconds for Marauder up to Inky Chris in the second place. It looks like the attack that Marauder was going for has stalled ever so slightly. I think that's just because of tyre deg and running in the dirty air. Maybe that he's getting a little bit too hot now. Good. Gerhan has made it back to the pits. That's fantastic to see. This now is Ticklish Pickle Wickle, which is a catastrophic name. I don't know why they picked that. Just eyeing the back of Smolder, it looks like. That Audi is absolutely going to be the better option in this weather. But he's also got to make sure that he's looking after the tyres. Not abusing them too much, because otherwise the Merc is going to have so much more pace just because he's got tread left on the tyres. Meanwhile, a couple of places back, Chuckscone is continuing his unfortunate form this race. It looks like the car was absolutely not set up according to the forecast and the conditions. I do feel for him. Jump back to Ticklish Picklewickle, who is now alongside, not quite, bumper to bumper. May have just had the time and space to get in front, but is he going to be able to get it stopped in time? Just. So good job there wasn't a Mercedes on the outside there, because that would have been a messy crash. But of course, the utmost professionalism from all of these drivers. But that was an almighty lock-up by Ticklish into the stadium section. You just heard the revs drop as the tyres broke traction. And now the Mercedes is looking around the outside. I don't know if that's just trying to look for attention or if that's a genuine intent. There's definitely intent there. The Mercedes just running slightly out wider. Just having a look. I don't think it's going to happen here. No, it's not. The Smolder definitely has an intent. Able to keep the nose of the Mercedes in tighter, and that is going to be Smolder back through. Now looking towards the end of the race, if this battle continues all the way through, then you've got to say that that's advantage Ticklish, because he's got the grip through the final sector, which is, you know, where the start-finish line is. It doesn't matter how much speed the Mercedes has got through the non-twisty bits. It's how the lap ends. So if Ticklish can hold his own, if he can get back through and then hold his own, this is going to be very messy. Ticklish has just got his nose in front, but is it going to be enough? Smolder absolutely doing the right thing and choosing discretion, the better part of Valor there. That was a heart in the mouth moment. What else is going on? Let's look away from this so that my anxiety doesn't get completely set off. Floating Mercedes. A 4-second gap up to Bresenchik. Who in turn has a very, very comfortable gap to Mad Dog, but it looks like Mad Dog has stopped. Oh, he's spun. Oh, that's horrible in the panels. Hey there, Voodoo. Commentator Cat has decided to jump in the seat. I'm sure he'll have something to say. But for now, he just wants fuss. That's fine. How are we looking at the moment? So who's that jumping into the pits there? There we go. That was Kleinstein. So somebody is obviously not happy with the state of their wet tyres. Meanwhile, Ticklish still chasing down. Still chasing down that Mercedes, and it looks as though we're going to have a carbon copy of the previous lap. Audi pulling down the inside of this long right-hander. This time he's in front before the chicane. massive lock-up going through the chicane at Ostkurve. Really? What is going on with Howie back here? He is putting a nice bit of pressure on Maibon here. Gets the overlap. Just more drive off the corner. Now Maibon has an opportunity here to follow Howie's lines and see how he did that, how he got so much traction off of that corner. There we go. Go on, Maibon. We're just going to jump back to Smolder here, who is still staring at the back of an Audi Quattro. That's another GT1 coming in for a pit stop. Who is that? That is Gio coming in. Which puts Aaron ahead. Let's see how long he's going to be able to do that. The Mercedes has again got more traction off of the first corner. Smolder trying to come across to... Ticklish, sorry. Trying to come across to block it, but just couldn't. The Mercedes, for whatever reason, is just slightly more balanced coming out of that corner, but the Audi is pulling it back now. There's a GT1 car coming up behind as well. Come on, boys, settle it down. You've got to get it all in order. Is that? It's definitely a Panos there. Whoa. It looks as though... Wish I could watch that one back. It looks as though that GT1 car just lost traction. Tried to pull inside of the Group A car there. And yeah, you can't do that in the rain. There's not quite enough traction for that. Meanwhile, oh man. I wish we had a further out view of all that, because that looked like lappery. That was lappery. That was definitely. See, Andrex has got a penalty. I didn't look at this earlier. So just a second. That's fine. Smolder now bringing it back in range of Ticklish Picklewickle. What a terrible name. Gonna run it out wide again, and let's just jump on board. And just the tiniest speed overlap. That's all that's needed. He's not going to get it done coming down into the first chicane. Superior traction of the Audi showing up again. And just like that, back nose to tail again. See if the Mercedes can do anything permanently about it this time. Ticklish is obviously having a lot of problems with his brakes because... Hang on, let me just look here for a second. If you check those revs on the right hand side, when he steps on the brakes, he's going to step on them in such a way that the revs are going to dip. What that means is that he's locking all 4 tyres up to the point where the engine's about to stall while you're doing 60 clicks plus. There you go. And that instability is what's causing that Mercedes to get back past. There's no question that the Audi has the pace in these weather conditions. It's just got an advantage. But it looks like Ticklish is just letting those revs drop. Like that. There he goes and proves me wrong. 6th to 2nd, no problem. That was mad. Absolutely astounded by the quality of the driving in this race. I was last time out, to be fair. They're absolutely, all of these drivers, without exception, are fantastic. And not just because they're fast or faster than the others or whatever. It's literally because they have so much patience with each other. They have great road etiquette. Yeah, for the most part. The red mist descends every now and then, but that's fine. Looking up at Phantom Hamster, looking to put some pressure on Kleinstein. You can smell another point. If I remember correctly, Phantom was actually reasonably well placed before. It's going to be... You know what I was saying about respect? Well driven both. Kleinstein lost a place, but both of them could have lost a whole lot more if he had turned in then. It was probably more well-driven Kleinstein than it was Hamster. Oh, that's a car in the wall. That was Kleinstein outbraking himself well and truly. Now he's just got to get back on the track like that. Beautiful. Well done. And low, the track goes not quiet. But there is definitely a Batmobile with no headlights circulating, just to make things interesting. That looked like... Nope. He did survive. Only just. I'm not gonna lie, would not want to be in Kleinstein's condition right now. Driving through Hockenheim Forest without any headlights is not something that is on my to-do list by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I don't know about you guys in chat, but yeah, I'm not. Is he gonna come in? Oh! Couldn't quite decide then. It looks like the Audi is just starting to gap the Mercedes are smaller than that. Now they're going to swap places again. I can't believe that he's still going around without any headlights. Just hang on. Bonnet camera. He's this. This is impossible. Surely you're just guessing where the corners are. Oh, I can't watch this. We're just counting down to a giant accident, aren't we, really? Yep, driving with Braille is absolutely what he's doing. Yeah. Tell you what. Perfect timing. Let us jump on board with our race leader. First, having to negotiate the Nila in the number 1 car around Nordkurve, and then the first of 1, 2, 3, 4 absolutely monstrous straights in this Hockenheim circuit. None of them actually straight, but you are absolutely full throttle. Picking your braking point down into Clark Curve. And then back as early as you dare to the loud pedal. Doesn't really matter what your line is around these corners, around these curves. Do something that fits. This bit, however, really important. That first curb is okay to touch. The second one on the right hand side, you will absolutely unbalance it. Unbalance the car coming out, and you don't want that because Ostkurve is vicious. And down to center curve. Porsche just grinding out on the curb there. So on the opposite side of the Group A cars before pulling across the racing line and down into a Gip curve and the grandstand section. Sachs, an absolutely legendary corner this. So many ways to take it, and all of them just about as quick as each other, which is crazy. And then up into Opel curve and Sud curve. Empower just playing with the throttle there. Those two corners are flat, not off camber, but they are flat, which most corners, as you see there, they have a bit of a camber inwards to help you get around the corner faster. Not with those corners. And that's a lap of Hockenheim, done in 2 minutes, 6 seconds, .28. With your leader Empower, as he disappears off into the night. Battle is rejoined apparently between Smolder and Ticklish Pickle Wickle. Don't really enjoy saying that name, but at the same time, give myself a little pat on the back every time I get it right. we have got 4 minutes remaining. This has been, it's been a very topsy-turvy race, this. Again, the thing that seems to be a staple of this championship so far is just issues. Empower has run an absolutely faultless race. I'm not going to take that away from him, but the top runners in GT1 have all been suffering issues. And the Group A's, the Audis should have had this as soon as the rain started falling. We've got Neela, Andrew, and Trip. And Ticklewish Picklewickle, they're all there, but Neela and Andrew have been having a fight all race. It's only just started to open out. Now. And Smolder is still right there. If Ticklish dares make a mistake, if he's wide on a corner, then he's off the... he's 5th, wouldn't he? Yeah, it'd be down to 5th. Not quite on the podium. There's absolutely been a problem. It's been such a messy race, but not... I keep saying that, but it's not the drivers. The drivers haven't been messy at all. They've been the utmost professionals across the board. They really have. Some of the situations that they've found themselves in have been so much less than ideal, but they've kept going. They've keep giving each other respect and keep pushing. That's absolutely the most important thing. To keep giving each other respect. As Smolder puts another lap on what I believe is Lambo. And all the GT1 cars come streaming past again. But I think it's about time that we start focusing on our leader. This is gonna be the... Ooh. I want to say penultimate lap. He does have the time that he could straight up stop at the start-finish line next lap. But this is going to be the last lap. So for a final tour of the Hockenheim ring circuit, I think I might actually leave you with a bit of silence for Empower and the Porsche. And that is coming down to the center curve, center chicane for the last time. Meanwhile, Phantom Hamster has jumped into the pits. He's got time. That's a very mysterious thing to do. Empower has navigated the center curve like he has 44 times beforehand. How? Oh, that was a big twitch. So close to the end. And you can smell the finish line now. You can smell the type of paint that it was painted with. just lost his concentration for a half second there, like so many people have, and it's ruined so many races coming through into the grandstand section. And low, that is not a touch against the wall. Well done. Well done, Empower. That was very, very, very well done. With a lead of 1 minute and 4 seconds. I am speechless. That was a fantastic run. Yeah, I've got nothing more to say. Inky Chris absolutely had his problems, as did Chloe, who we lost relatively early on from the running, unfortunately. But this is the gap. This is how big the gap from first to second is. Empower switched the engine off. He's done. He's finished. And that was Mad Dog has stopped. Is that out of fuel? Was he running that close? He lost the place to Kleinstein in that. Don't know if he's gonna. Yeah, sorry. So Inky Chris manages to avoid the spinning Audi to take second place. Marauder will come home in an absolutely glorious third place for the panels. Coming through the final curves now, around Opal and South. Sud curve. That corner's called South Curve. Absolutely lovely. It's one way to finish the race. Gio has finished. Aaron, did he get across the finish line? He must have just got across the finish line. Brezenchik is still... he's coming around Sachs. So he's going to make the finish line quite handily. Phantom looks like he has... Yep, okay. And Brezenchik is going to go into the pits on the final lap. Okay, sure, fine. That's absolutely fine. But that was your race, and so when we'll get the graphic up in a second. Oh, epilepsy warning. I'm really sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that. So, Empower is your winner. Inky Chris will take a second, SRK Marauder third, Gio in fourth, Aaron fifth, Brezenchik sixth, Phantom Hamster seventh, Kleinstein eighth, Alice Gerheim ninth, and Mad Dog in 10th, with GT1 Chuck Scone coming home in 11th. In Group A, Neela has taken the win from Andrex with Trip third, Ticklish Pickle Wickle in fourth, Smolder 5th, Apex Mayborn 6th, Boris in 7th, and Kless Landbo in 8th, having a bit of a nightmare by the looks of things. So, where shall we go? Who should we speak to first? Chuck Scone. It looks like Scone had a absolute nightmare of an evening. How was that for you? Was your car set up for the dry?
Well, I was set up for the dry okay. The wet I was set up better for. What made it such a nightmare was I didn't switch my tire type appropriately when I pitted, so I had hard on wet.
Oh, I see. Right. Oh, that's heartbreaking. No, because I saw some of your incidents, should we say? I feel so bad for you. Did you enjoy it at least? Was it a nice challenge?
Too funny. Well, the car was a nightmare, but every bit was a great challenge. I actually finished this time versus the pit stick, DQ that I had last time. So there was some growth there. Again, it's going to boil down to setup. So setup and tire type, very important.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And it's the thing, as you say, these mistakes you can learn from. You can take that forward and actually grow with that. So like you can never go into a race with a setup that isn't planned for wet. Now, so there's things you can definitely improve. It wasn't a case of it's just one of those things. So no, absolutely, it's brilliant that you're taking that away from it. But you're definitely getting there.
As per usual, you know, not first place, but hopefully entertaining for the viewer. Just trying to maintain, you know, a respectful position with the other drivers, staying out of their way.
Yeah.
While I work through these issues in my rookie season.
Yep, absolutely. And the rookie season will come to an end, and you will be a fantastic driver come the end of it. I'm absolutely sure.
Ike, I appreciate it. I just wanted to get in the box real quick and say hey, and just thank everybody for watching. Thanks for letting me be here, man. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, you have a good mate. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to speak to the winner of our Group A class, Neela.
Hello.
How was that for you?
That was pretty nice, actually. I've been waiting for, I don't know, I think this actually is my first win in a serious series here.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on that as well. I didn't realize it was your first victory. I'm sure we've spoken before with you winning.
Yeah. No, I don't think I won. I actually spoke to you in the GT3 series.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Is that or a podium?
I don't know. Probably the other end.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the back. That's where
we'll
I
see.
usually end up.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure that you were somewhere up there. But anyway, doesn't matter. Maiden victory.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Nice. Oh yeah.
And in really, really controversial conditions.
I mean, the Audi is it's incredible in these conditions. I mean, it was fun from the beginning to the end. And as I said, I could keep up with the fast guys. Like when I saw Andrex do a 216 something in the quality, and I was like, okay, I'm doing 220, so this is what it's going to look like. So, but I mean, a fuel full with tank and a little bit of luck, I guess, and the car felt pretty good.
Yep.
I set it up so it should be pretty fast in the dry and maybe not so fast in the wet, but I think it worked out pretty good actually.
No, absolutely. Whatever you did, it worked really well.
Oh yeah, it did.
Now you just need to repeat the performance. Pressure's on.
Yeah, of course.
But there you go. No, it was a good race. It was really difficult to commentate because trying to see through the spray and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and some of the cars were really spread out, I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit like that. I think some of the drivers weren't expecting it to be as wet as it ended up getting.
No, I actually ran some practice sessions this week, a couple of them. And this was probably the wettest one of them. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised as well. And it was so much water that I had to kind of like do Scandinavian flicks in every corner, and that just did poop to my tires. So it was
of course,
very much. I had no steering the last like 5 or 6 lap. So yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Spa-Francorchamps next. So
yeah, I like the track. It's a fast track.
Yeah, not known for its weather instability at all, is it?
No, not really. Never seen it other weather better.
Yeah, it's always blazing sunshine, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, but we're going to see you near the front again in the Audi.
Let's hope so. It's a really good car. I might have gotten further up in the list because of the bad weather, because I think the bad weather fits me better than the dry. So
yep, I know that feeling. No, anyway, but yeah, congratulations. We'll see you next time out. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant.
Have a nice evening.
You too, mate. See ya. And we did have Andrex just now, but I'm going to jump in with Ticklish Picklewickle.
there we go.
whose name continues to amuse me. That's an absolutely brilliant name, and an even better race for you, I think. That was some fantastic driving from yourself and who was the other one in Smolder?
Yeah, Smolder, yes.
Absolutely fantastic. I've got to be honest, I was glued to you for the second half of the race because the way you two kept swapping positions, it must have been so stressful.
It was, and the problem was that well, the Audi wouldn't really turn in the rain, and so that was four-wheel drive, and the Merc was rear-wheel drive, so he obviously had a lot more. His car would like turn a lot more in the twisty stuff.
Yeah.
So I would basically like pull away in the first two sectors, and then as soon as we got to the third sector, that was twisty. He would just gain all the time back, and then it would take me again and switch positions.
That's interesting. From what I saw is actually the other way around. When it got to the twisties, you definitely had the push on understeer definitely wasn't showing on camera, but you were definitely able to you definitely had some ability.
Yeah, I mean, like in the car it was awful, but
it looked
especially those like the penultimate corner and the last corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like loads of understeer, and he just gained so much on me.
Ah.
And then he seemed to be getting like a way better exit out of turn 1 than me.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was able to pull away from me and on the first straight there.
Yeah, I think
So, yeah.
it's probably if what you're describing was if you're getting push on turning, then you were probably having to overslow the car to get into the corner. And so
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And so that's the worst possible thing you can have with turn 1 because it's got such a long straight after. You've got no chance.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
that was basically what happened, and we just sort of switched positions every now and then. It was very stressful.
Yes.
Because I thought I could sort of pull away from him, but I just couldn't. Because I kept losing all the time in the twisty stuff and in that.
Yeah, of course. But hey, it's third place. If I remember correctly.
Fourth.
Was it fourth?
Yeah, I mean, it was still pretty good. I think.
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely.
think I did.
Sorry, yeah, it was fourth. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, no, we dropped out of the lobby now, so I couldn't make sure. But
right, yeah.
We'll see you next time out in Spa-Francorchamps.
I hope so. Yeah.
Looking forward to a whole new challenge.
Definitely on my favorite track, so that's gonna be good.
Yes, it's definitely one of my more favored tracks. Especially going up the hill past Arouge and Radion, and that chicane at the top of the hill. Oh man, there's nothing that's not brilliant about that track, is there?
Yeah, that section's gonna be very interesting in a Group A car. So.
Yeah, especially with the GT1s behind you.
Yeah, and at least in AOR we're used to driving the GT3 cars that are way more downforcey than the Group A cars, and we can usually take that section out flat, but probably can't in a Group A car. So
I reckon you could Scandi flick through there.
Yeah, well, I am a Scandinavian, so I can try.
Yeah, excellent. Right, I will speak to you next time then. Thank you very much for taking part. You did really well, and thank you very much for entertaining us the second half of the race. That was great.
And thank you for entertaining the other people who was not real.
I wouldn't say that. Grief. Yeah. You have a lovely evening, mate. I will see you soon.
Hey, you too.
I think, because I did see Andrex jump in the ready to interview for a second there, but I don't know if that's actually going to materialize or not. It looks like he is busy elsewhere. So with all those interviews done, I am going to sign off. My name has been Eike Sky, and you have been watching the Apex Online Racing GT1 Championship. Next time out is going to be Spa. And Spa, in any car, is bound to be a fun time. See you then.